Hey everyone, Jessica here with another layout for the Not Just for Boys Kit Club using the Limitless kit this month, which is called Daydream, and I'm scrapping this cute little photo of my boys riding around in their John Deere Gator around our farm. And I have pulled out the Where to Next paper cut, and I am going to back it here with some various papers from the kit. And then I've also pulled out my small paper pad by Vicki Boutin Where to Next collection, because that's actually what some of the pieces of this kit are from. So I have that paper pad in my stash, so I pulled it out because the papers match, and I thought I could back the cut file, all these little cute signs with it, and that's what I've done. I just pulled out some scraps from that paper pad, and I'm just going to back each one of these little signs with a different paper using my liquid Nuvo glue from the shop, and then I'm just simply trimming them around my cut file with my scissors. So super easy to do. I just glue it down directly to the paper and then just cut out around where I need it to be. So I'm just going to show you a couple of those. That's how I back cut files like this that come already pre-cut in the mail. And then it kind of depends on what I'm doing for how I back it in particular, but that's how I'm doing this one here. So there's my finished cut file. I have it all backed. I used one of the large papers from this paper kit, a couple of the large ones. I think I used the wood grain one and then the brown one with the hearts to back the rest of the file. And then my photo here, I've cut down to a tag shape using my Elle Studio tag dies. And then I'm gonna cut a little piece for the top here to finish that tag off so it looks real. And I'm just gonna glue that little piece down with my Nuvo glue again. And sorry if you hear the little baby sounds in the background. My baby is on my lap and I'm feeding her right now. So she's a messy and loud eater, but we love her. So I'm pulling out some of the embellishments. I've pulled out the ones from the Essentials add-on kit for this and the ones that came in the kit. And then I'm gonna do a whole bunch of stamping on my cut file here. So all of these cute little signs, I am going to stamp a different little phrase on each one. So I'm gonna keep to the adventure theme because that's what these two are doing. They are exploring on our farm and just driving around and pointing at different things and chasing rabbits and just having a blast. So they're having a little adventure, and I'm gonna stick with that theme by using some Elle Studio stamp sets that I have here in my stash, and I think I'm gonna pull out a couple other random ones from my stash as well. So I'm just stamping on all of these cute little signs and just using all of those cute little adventure themed and travel themed stamp phrases to stamp on all of these little ones. And I'm using my black Archival ink because I know that that's gonna give me a crisp stamp. Whereas if I use my Black Soot Distress Oxide, it's not as crisp and clean because it is a distress ink. So it's not going to stamp as clean and crystal clear like I like for something like this. So that's why I'm using that. So I'm just finishing up the remainder of my signs. I'm just trying to find different phrases that fit on top of these signs because each one of them is a different size. So I am just using my longer phrases on the bigger signs and then my shorter ones on the shorter signs, as you can see. So I pull out another random stamp set here from my stash. This one's by Simple Stories. I think this one was called Bro & Company, if I remember right. But that one is an older collection, but I love it. It was a really, really good one. And that one came with that stamp set, which was great. And it fit just perfectly in that last little tiny sign. So I wanted to finish off these other tags that I made. I cut these out of the other papers from this kit and actually a couple from that small paper pad as well that coordinated with this. So I wanted to finish them off just like I did the one for my photo, and I'm going to tuck these behind my photo just to give it some additional layers. So I'm just gonna pop these back behind my photo, and I'll stick those all down in a moment when I decide if that's for sure where I want them to go. I wasn't sure where I wanted them to go. I thought maybe I could put them on the top of the cut file on the top right, but then they didn't quite look right on that spot. So that's why I decided to keep all my photos on the left side of those signs. And then I decided I want to do a little bit more distressing to this background paper. I love this paper. I think this background is just gorgeous, but I wanted to add a little something to it. So I pulled out some of my grungier stamps, and these ones are by Tim Holtz. And then I just stamped a little bit off the paper there so that I could get a little bit more of that grunge onto my outside border. So I'm going to go ahead and stick my photo down now because I know that's where I want it to be. I want it to overhang off of that green tag a little bit and closer to my signs. And then I'm just going to layer up the ones behind it using my ATG gun. So I'm just kind of fiddling with everything, making sure everything's where I want it to be. I decided that I want to add a little bit of stenciling to this. So I pull out that Black Soot Distress Oxide and I add some stenciling, and that stencil is by Hip Kit Club. And I just add just a little pop of it behind that little area. And then I'm going to actually pull out some of these film strips from one of our previous kits. It's one of the winter ones. I can't remember the name of it offhand or what month it was, but it was one of the wintry themed kits that we had that came with these cute little film strips. So I'm going to add a couple of those in there. And I'm just going to adhere down those with my ATG gun as well here in a moment. But I'm only going to add adhesive to the bottom of it in case it shows through. I don't want to see it, so I'm just going to add it to the very, very bottom where it's going to be underneath that cut file. And here is just that other little tag. I'm finally sticking those down to my layout because I'm fully committed that that's where my photos are going now, or my photo. I just have one today. I've been trying to use more photos on my layouts, but yeah, this one's just a single photo and I'm okay with that. I'm going to tuck that little embellishment down there at the bottom. As you can see, I've tucked that flower in up by my film strips, and here's where I'm only putting adhesive on the bottom portion of those film strips just so you don't see it on my layout. As you can see, my ring is back on my finger. It was missing for a little while. No, I didn't divorce my husband or kick him to the curb. He's still in my life. I still love him. My ring, I actually lost a stone in my ring, so it was in the shop getting repaired for about a week and a half. So it's finally back on my finger, and feels kind of weird now and heavy having it back on my finger, but I'm getting used to it. So it's back and it's in its place. My cut file here, I am actually popping up with some foam tape from Thermoweb so that it has a little bit more dimension on my layouts. I wanted it to pop off the page, and yeah, so I just popped some of that underneath my cut file, and I thought I need another little photo strip, so I used the rest of that one that I cut on that left side of my photo. So I'm adding a couple more little bits from a previous kit. This was from, I believe, last month's kit, the travel log kit. I love that kit, and I still have a bunch of pieces left. So I thought the colors in this layout would go perfect with that. So I'm pulling in a couple elements from that kit, from the sticker sheet by Stumble Stories, Travelog, and then the 49 and Market embellishments. I'm pulling in a couple of those as well. There's some cute little chipboard hearts in there too, so I'm gonna grab a couple of the orangier color ones to match my layouts. And then I've just done my date stamp there with the Paige Evans date stamp. And I'm gonna add some thread on those tags and add some thread on that little label that I put there for my date. And then I also pulled out one of these cute little arrows. And I'm going to be honest, whenever I first saw these little arrows, the way that they were laid out in the photo that Paula had sent to us, or Merity, I can't remember which one posted it, I thought they were houses because they were laid out in a certain way. They really looked like houses to me, but they are arrows. So I'm finally using one of those on this layout. So I love to combine our pastels and, oops, excuse you. And I don't know if you just saw, my son's socks just came into the frame. So he needed socks on his feet because he is wearing Crocs. My mother actually found him a pair of Crocs at a yard sale, and he absolutely loves them, will not take them off, but he wore them on the wrong feet all day and he got blisters on his feet, so he's asking for socks. So I had to stop a moment and put socks on his cute little feet. So he feels better now. And then here on the layout, I am just adding a couple little wordy bits from the packaging from a previous kit. I love to cut apart the packaging and use that on my layouts. And I thought those little wordy bits are just perfect on this. And I love that cute wood grain. I'm tucking some thread in here in a couple spots, and then I'm grabbing an epoxy flare from Scrap and Happy Studio, and that's pretty much gonna finish this layout off, other than adding one more little heart on my O and another one on the bottom where my date is, because I thought that area looked a little bit bare and naked. So I'm just gonna add one here in the middle of my O, and then I'm gonna add another one after gluing this key down. I'm gonna add another one by that date stamp. Also, I thought this key fob needed a little something on it too, so I'm going to just pull out a stamp set that I have in my stash and stamp a few little stars on it. I thought that just looked cute to finish that off. And then here I'm just going to add some twine. This is the twine that actually came in my kit. It was wrapped in, so I like to use that on my layouts wherever possible. So I'm going to use that and thread that through all of my tags here in a second. And this flower I was tootling with, I couldn't really figure out which direction I wanted to go. I think it actually looked better in the way that I had it, but oh well, I'm leaving it that way now because it's in my book. So I'm just going to finish these tags off. I'm going to thread all of these through and then just add this last heart on. So here's the finished layout. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video today. I hope that I've inspired you to create something beautiful, and I hope you grab that kit in the shop, which I'll link below for you. So thanks so much for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.